What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CRWN Cinema Podcast. In this episode, we literally just watched Dune Part 2. That was incredible. Now, before you start, let's give our first review with no spoilers. So we'll give like a first few minutes of this with no spoilers, and then we can dive into it. Spoiler full. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll go first. I think this movie did an incredible job of building the hype around Paul and just how incredibly powerful he is. I think they do a great job of just kind of building, because it's a whole new world. It's a whole new way of life. You don't really know much about the characters, much about the world if you haven't read the book, but they do a great job of portraying it all where it all makes sense. And I thought comparing it to the book, they excluded a lot of stuff that made sense. So there's a lot of stuff in the book they took out for the movie that made sense. The music wasn't as much of the badass music in this one, but every time they did put it in, it was at the perfect moments where you just feel it. It's a great movie when afterwards you're just so hype. You just are just so excited afterward. So my rating for Dune Part 2. And honestly, I think the rating should be the whole Dune thing, because they're kind of the same storyline. They're different movies, but it's really one story. I'm going to give it a 9.2.
It is written. As it is written.
All right, what'd you think?
Going into this movie, I was definitely curious to see how they were going to adapt the book onto the big screen. And like you said, I wouldn't say took out some parts. They obviously did, but I think they just kind of went about it in a very different direction, but to the way that it did work. We said we're not going to spoil anything yet right here, but I just thought this movie was incredible. I think this is about to set a whole new future for this franchise. I think this is about to be the next Star Wars.
It's gotta be.
I think this is our times, new Star Wars. You have an incredible cast full of actors that every single one of them delivers to a T. It's perfect. It's everything you need it to be. Like you said, the music, Hans Zimmer, perfect. I'll give this a 9.5. This shit had me hype.
Hype.
How many times do we just all have to look? Because there was, 5, 6 of us on that theater? How many times am I just looking at you, looking at Braden, looking at... And I'm just
Literally probably 5 times in the movie, moments happen where you looked at everybody oh, dude, oh, shit.
Yeah. And it's better for us because, in a way, because we've read the book. But I'll say, pretty much by halfway through the movie, when I realized that a lot of it had been changed in a way, it was kind of nice, because I'm just thinking, oh shit, they went a totally different route. I don't really know what to expect anymore.
They kept it accurate to the book, but they altered some things to fit the movie and make it a little easier.
Yeah,
which we'll obviously dive into later.
Yeah, and
it's cool too, because it's a new franchise based on a book that was made by an incredible filmmaker.
Yeah, and
who is a true artist.
Yeah. Obviously, he cares about the story. You can tell by every single shot.
Because with the scenes where Paul's, can't spoil it. There's so many scenes where obviously we know that Paul becomes a badass. Okay, that's not really a spoiler. Those scenes when he shows him setting it up, it's just built so perfectly to where you just feel it in your chest.
And I think the best part about this movie is that you go from the beginning of what it is. It leaves right where it left off from the original Dune one. And then by the end of it, you're looking at an entire different world of Arrakis. It is completely different. The whole tide has changed, but it doesn't feel rushed.
No.
It feels perfectly paced. It's a long movie, but again, it's one of those movies where the entire time you're into it.
The only thing I would say, I felt like the first maybe hour was a little bit rushed because it's a lot of stuff that has to happen.
And I kind of got that sense too.
Because a lot of time passes throughout it, and you don't really feel it. You're kind of like, I have to assume, I guess time has passed.
Yeah.
So it feels a little bit rushed in the beginning, but there's a certain point in the movie when after this moment takes place, the rest of the timing is just perfectly played.
I just think, in a way, that is easier to get away with when your whole planet's setting is just desert. So there's no seasons.
Right.
So there's really no way to kind of see what time is. Like, you don't see them going through different seasons. Whereas if you watch any other movie that takes time, like in a year, like you can see like winter, like spring, summer, fall, all of that. But with Dune, you can kind of get away with it because it's just desert. I mean, nothing's ever changing. It's just dry, sandy, and that's it. And so I thought that if you're going to do that, you got to do it with this kind of a movie. That's the only way you can really get away with it.
Scott, what's your review and rating?
I give it a 10. There was so many good movie moments, that like give you chills. It's just perfect in every way.
It's like the ultimate badassery in this movie. Like, it just builds. I keep saying it, but it just builds so perfectly.
In the first movie, they like set, I guess, like the rules of like how everything works, and then you get to see how it unfolds, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be a long time, but it'd be cool to watch it cut together just as one story.
I know,
5 hours. No, it would be six. What would it be? About 5 hours, 6 hours.
This is where,
it would be 5 hours because it's 2:30 both. They're both like 2:30, right?
Yeah. See, this is where I'm jealous of the kids that just get to come into this world, and then they're going to be like 12, 13 years old, and they just get to watch it.
Yeah, but we get to watch it though.
As it's
appreciating movies a little bit deeper.
Yeah, we get to appreciate the culture of like Dune being built. Yeah,
because growing up, I'm sure as a kid watching Star Wars is cool, but if you were an adult watching Star Wars come out, it's even more incredible because you're kind of able to appreciate it more. So we're in the point, primetime movie watchers. We've been reviewing movies for a while now. It's like we've been really like getting good at studying a movie and really seeing what we like about it, and so now we can truly appreciate this movie for what it is.
This is where this was our times The Empire Strikes Back.
Dude.
I remember thinking that watching this movie. I was just thinking, damn, like this is what they were thinking.
I'm so disappointed the theater wasn't packed. I expected it to be like, I expected it around the corner when we got there, and it'd just be like the only seats available were our seats. Instead, we had a crying baby.
Yeah, that was interesting. Also, I mean, shout out to that baby.
Wasn't as bad as
it was not that bad.
Wasn't perfect, but not as bad. A couple
you
whales
were right behind the baby.
Scott was pissed.
Was that baby crying?
I hate that baby.
We had
me and Gray were worried.
Yeah, we had a deaf couple sit in front of us, and not only were they deaf, we caught the 9:00 showing, so it's late, and this baby's probably like a year, maybe 2 old. I mean, it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's not 2.
It's not talking yet.
No, it's not talking. Like, this is a baby. Yeah. I don't know why a baby's up at 9:00.
Horrible parenting. And also it's horrible because...
I won't judge. I don't know what deaf people's time is.
Yeah. And who knows if they were all deaf. But if they were all deaf, the looks of it, sitting in front of you as a deaf couple with a baby, are they going to be able to hear the baby crying?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
That's how we're really concerned.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I only heard that baby cry 2-3 times. So if I were to rate that baby 1 out of 10, I'm going to give that baby a solid 8.2.
That's how I was going to go 7.
You'll give it a 7? Okay. I thought that baby did well for 9:00.
Because it's a loud-ass
movie. Yeah. Like, so Scott, what would you rate that baby?
Hard 3.
But this movie, I mean, it's what I expected. Listen, you watch the first Dune, obviously it is exciting. I mean, there is like a decent amount of action in it towards the end. But this movie, I mean, it's not all about the action, but holy shit, you get plenty of it. I mean, you're left fulfilled.
Yeah, and it does a great job at showing you Paul's thoughts, and explaining things without really just telling you.
I like
it
that
gives
they
you the little
finally
clues.
show the visions.
Yeah.
You know,
A little bit more clearly. Like, you're like, okay, we know these are visions
right.
now.
So in the first one, it's more of dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I thought that was just a little bit more confusing for people that didn't understand like what Paul's character was capable of. This movie finally shows he could see everything.
Yeah.
He's
Well, here we go. Spoiler town.
Right. And so that's the whole point of Paul's character, is that he has this weird ability that he pretty much like was born with, but he was like kind of been trained to like get more in tune with.
Yeah.
Is that he doesn't just have visions. He can't see the future. He sees all these different possibilities of what could happen.
He just sees like different visions of like, okay, this might happen, but he's not sure what's true.
Right. And so at the beginning of this movie, he's having these visions, and they're based off of what he's done, or they're based off of events that have happened that he didn't foresee. But then as the movie keeps going, he finally is able to learn, well, after he drinks the wine.
All right, here we go. Spoilers. All right, spoilers from here on out.
Spoilers, heavy spoilers. After he drinks
the water of life.
piss.
Yeah, the water of life.
You call it water of life. I call it how I see it. That's worm piss. But for whatever reason, it's able to let him see every single choice that can be made to get him to the top.
Yep. There's no more gray spots. It's pure vision. And
he's telling him.
Yeah.
And that's when he becomes the badass that you, as us readers, understand, like, that's Paul Atreides.
Because in the book, it's obviously you can describe what he sees, and you can describe the possibilities that he sees and whatever else. So in the movie, it's kind of hard to actually visually show that. But they do a great job without doing any crazy effects, without making it look any like trippy kind of thing.
No, you just get this red glare.
No, the visions. But I'm saying whenever he finally drinks it and he's explaining to his mom what he sees, just by Timothée Chalamet's acting, and it's like a very simple shot. And I'm like, well, that was genius and so simple to make it. If you're listening, Timothée Chalamet moves his hand and kind of like shows all these possibilities, and then he like straightens it out and says, but I know the path. So just by him doing this little hand gesture and then like directing it, you're like, oh, okay. He can see literally everything, and now he's just kind of making his way through all these possibilities. Mm-hmm. So now one simple little action, you're like, okay, I can understand his mental process.
I know, and I'm not wanting to jump the gun, and so I'm not going to. But there are decisions that he makes where if you're just like a regular foot soldier, or if you're, it's Gurney, correct?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, there's a lot of names.
Gurney Halleck.
That's right. Played by Josh Brolin. He's like, he keeps getting frustrated because he's thinking, why is my Duke putting himself...
Holding himself back.
Doing that, but then when he does go forward, he like goes full throttle.
Yeah.
You know, he puts himself on the battlefield and all this, and he keeps showing his frustrations, but he doesn't understand that Paul's pretty much, he understands, like, if this is going to happen, I'm not, like, I don't have to lead this. I have to actually go into battle. I have to do the dirty work.
Because if he's going to lead the Fremen, who are the most incredible warriors of all time.
They have to see...
Yeah.
They have to see their leader actually lead them to battle.
Because in Fremen culture, the leader has to be the most badass. That's why they don't really make a big point of it. It's mentioned in the movie, but they don't make a big point of it that in order for, like, everybody is looking to Paul because they know that Paul's like a better fighter than Stilgar. They know that if Paul and Stilgar fought, Paul would win. They all know this. Mm-hmm. So people are starting, like, throughout the book, it's a little bit bigger of a part of it, but they start, like, you know, questioning Stilgar. They're not listening to Stilgar. They're like turning to Paul. They're like, Paul, why are you not challenge Stilgar? Like, take the throne. Like, you're the leader. We trust you to fight us, to lead us in the battle. And so if he's going to lead this culture, he has to be the one that's fighting the battle. He has to be the main guy leading the charge.
But I think that Paul, his way of seeing it, obviously Paul sees all. What he pretty much sees is, why would I challenge Stilgar if he's the second best, but he's also desert born? And that's the thing. If you're really looking at it, you know that Paul is a better fighter, but who can survive in the desert? Like, Paul is still learning the ways of Arrakis.
But I'm thinking at that point, though, Paul's master of the desert. At that point, Paul's the man. You don't really, again, the movie doesn't do a great job of, like, really giving you the full context of it, but I think at this point, Paul's the man. He's
Yes,
rode the worm.
yeah.
You know, he's literally traveling to the south, leading an entire troop, and he's the one driving the worm.
Yeah.
So he's kind of mastered the desert at this point.
And I do understand in a way he has mastered it, but he still is a kid. He's what, like 16?
See how old he is at the end of Dune.
Yeah, he's supposed to be what, like 16, 17. He was 15 in Dune Part 1.
But time passes, so
Right.
he might be I think he's a grown man.
17.
Okay,
I
17.
was about to
So
say,
still young.
so he's still young. So he still like kind of understands, you know, with Gurney. I mean, there's still something to be learned from people that are veterans of the land and of the ways. And Stilgar is still having. I think that's kind of a point that the movie makes. Every time Paul does something, who's his biggest fan? Stilgar. And
Stilgar's still a power. Even though Paul would beat him in a fight, Stilgar's still a powerful warrior and a very, very respected leader.
Right.
So you're not going to take out one of your most powerful leaders.
Yeah. So it's just a big influence. Why would you want to kick him out? You know, there's just no point to it. And so Paul's not trying to step on any toes here, but he is being understanding of, listen, I came to y'all. Y'all have accepted me as a respectable leader, but Stilgar is the one that believed in me from the moment I defeated Jamis,
whatever. It's
Jamis. Yeah. Stilgar believed in him the moment he defeated Jamis, and that was a big step for Stilgar to take, to like go back to the people and say, no, this one, this is like the savior. So you can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know, that's a loyal soldier that you still have so much to learn from.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that.
And it makes sense, you know, as a leader. And it's cool because, so that scene, whenever he does tell Stilgar, whenever they like, you have to fight Stilgar if you want to speak here, he's like, no, I'm leading the way. He's like, all y'all are my generals.
Yeah, he took the reins.
Which then that scene is so powerful because he did such a great job of showing, the filmmaker did such a great job showing Paul's resistance to it. Like, because Paul doesn't want to be he sees the destruction and death that's going to happen with him as the emperor. And so he doesn't want to do it. So he's very, very hesitant. And in the beginning, people are questioning him. And so now that scene when he just takes the throne, literally, it's almost like he just dives. It's not like an ego thing because he just knows.
Yeah. No,
it's like undoubtedly, y'all going to fight me? Y'all are going to try to, like, y'all think y'all can beat me?
Yeah.
It's like you can't. It's like it'd be like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, in you know, LeBron's prime, or Michael Jordan's prime is like, y'all think y'all are gonna beat me?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, that scene was powerful because I don't think I've ever seen, because it's a movie about power. I mean, you do have to step up to the throne in a way, and I've never seen somebody take leadership like that in any type of movie or TV show. Like, I'm thinking Game of Thrones. I mean, I've never seen somebody literally just walk into a room full of people and say, no, it's me. Like, y'all wanted me. Here I am. Like, I'm leading this. And then he ends up showing them what his power is.
Yeah.
He tells a guy how his grandmother died. Yeah. And it pretty much, you know, he's like a common foot soldier in a sense.
I think he's one of the leaders. He's at the front.
Okay, so he is one of the leaders, but there's no way Paul would know the exact way that guy's grandmother died.
Yeah.
When she was 12, you know, she got like her eye taken out. Like, he describes it perfectly, and you can tell all the Fremen, they all knew how that story is, but like, how would that have reached Paul?
Yeah, exactly.
Time, you know,
he tells some guy what his nightmares are.
Right.
And so they're like, oh my God, this guy's a prophet.
Immediately bows down.
Yeah, the whole entire sea of people bow down. And millions of people bow down to this one man.
How does it go, Scott? Every time Paul would do something good, what does Stilgar say? It's
Lizan al-Gaib.
Yeah.
Lizan al-Gaib.
Lizan al-Gaib. Oh my God.
I would love to know how many times that was said in this movie.
A few times.
That and as it's written.
Yes, as is written. Frank Herbert, I haven't read the second one. The second one apparently explains the true meaning of the first one, and it's really about how the prophecy or the chosen one is not a good thing. Or it's like almost like critiquing that, like the chosen one, because if Paul it is badass to see it and it's really fun to watch. But if Paul becomes he starts a war across the galaxy, and now he's gonna, millions of people are gonna get murdered, and you kind of see that almost sometimes. Like I feel like they drop in hints if you watch the movie from that perspective. Denis Villeneuve gives you shots to where like you're seeing a sea of soldiers, Fremen and warriors, just getting gunned down, at the front. Like people are dying when they, I guess they have to, but it's still you watching them all just get killed in this battle where it's like, damn, death and destruction is coming upon the enemies and Paul's troops. So Paul being this chosen one does cause a lot of death and destruction, which is why he's so against it, but he just kind of falls into it because, he's got to save the planet. He's still Fremen.
Right. But, and so, who would agree with you is, it's Chani.
Yeah, Chani.
It's Chani's character. She's the one that's seeing this prophecy is leading us to war. And while we have been fighting for survival for our people and for our world, we're not facing we've never faced the risk of our entire planet dying. Like we're finally stepping out towards the galaxy essentially. And it's because of a prophecy. So this prophecy could be the downfall of our people in a sense.
Yeah, because she's more concerned about the planet and her people.
Right.
And Paul becomes obsessed with kind of like the global aspect of it because Paul understands the power and with that kind of power and influence, he can then change Arrakis. But Chani just kind of wants to stay with the culture and be with her people.
Exactly. She's scared of change and she's worried that this prophet. I think in a way she does believe, she's seen enough towards the movie or towards the end of the movie. She understands that, okay, this guy's probably real deal. But it doesn't change the fact that she's probably a little mad that it's happening in her time.
I mean, she literally is a part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
She literally is the reason why Paul survives.
And I think she's mad about that because I think in her mind, she was just okay to just kill whoever came after her tribe, after her people. And that's all she wanted to do for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Now she's mad that her life is going to be involved in just adapting to this new world, which Arrakis has never seen.
Yeah, and it's good too they used her because in the book I don't remember her being that. Maybe she is, but I don't remember her being that apprehensive.
I don't remember her being that rebellious towards Paul.
Yeah,
but I like it.
It's good because it gives you, because if she was all a part of it, then the entire movie looks like what Paul is doing is the right thing to do, which it kind of is. But again, there's still that death and destruction aspect that Frank Herbert was trying to get across of it's not that good for him to become the prophecy. And for him to fulfill this thing, he's going to have total power, and it's going to lead to a lot of death across the entire universe. So having Chani be the closest one to him and being the one that's pushing back on him, no, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? You're just doing this because you want power. Being that little conflict for him does help you and reminds you, maybe it isn't that great that he's taking over the universe. Mm-hmm. People are going to die.
Was he lying about leading them to paradise? Because we only see visions of destruction. You never see visions of the paradise he's talking about.
You saw it one time.
You do. Yeah.
Right when he woke up, I think.
He sees Arrakis,
he's climbing a dune and sees an ocean in front of him.
You don't remember that?
I do remember that, but I didn't realize that's what that was.
Yeah.
I think that this is just a prediction, I guess, but I think the paradise that he's talking about, because he talks to Chani about what his world is, I think he's gonna bring Arrakis to
Caladan.
To his home planet.
Yeah, his world's Caladan.
Yeah, so I think that's what he's gonna do.
Maybe. I mean, they're definitely gonna get there.
Right, he just took them.
Yeah,
he just took them on the ships.
He told them to take them to paradise.
Yeah, so I think
kill all them.
That's their paradise. Is why don't we move Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else?
Oh my God, that is Dune.
In the book, though, they don't Chani's really upset that he took on this wife. And in the book, there's one line. We just looked at the last pages because I don't remember.
I knew it.
Yeah.
He was flipping through.
The last, Chani gives one line at the end of the book that says something about, she's a little jealous. There's one line that hints she might be a little jealous and worried about him marrying this person. But it's very clear that Paul says, the emperor's daughter, I don't want anything to do with you. He's like, I think he literally tells her, you're going to have a marriage. You're going to have a loveless marriage. I'm not going to, build a relationship with you. It's just strictly political reasons. And Chani kind of like, okay, whatever you have to do. I understand. Like, she's totally on board with him doing it. Right. And Lady Jessica tells Chani, it's like, yes. Because she was they call it in the book, they call it concubine. That's essentially just somebody that gave birth to a ruler's kid, but they're not married. And so Lady Jessica told Chani, it's like, yes, but, when they look back on the history books, they're going to, right now they call us concubines, but when they look back on the history books, they're going to call us wives. Because that's what we really were. Yeah. And Paul, and I think Chani's like standing next to him the whole time during this whole discussion with the emperor when he beats Feyd-Rautha and then, becomes the emperor. Like, Chani's on board. So they did change that, which doesn't really take away from anything. It helps with that conflict, I guess, but
I think it spices it up a little bit.
The spice.
You like that, Scott?
That was good.
Thank you. Okay, here's a big thing that they completely took out of the book. Paul's sister isn't born.
Yep.
So in the book, over halfway.
Yeah.
Over half of the book, he's got his sister.
And she's a huge part of the book.
Yeah, she's. I think she ends up being because you said Paul is like a grown man.
I think speculating, not confirmed, don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I remember in the book, she's walking around as like a 3 to 5 year old kid.
Yeah.
But she's speaking as like an adult.
Like a very wise old woman.
And this is before they even go to battle with the Harkonnen or the Empire. Yeah. And the whole Fremen world is just freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, they're freaked out because
she's a 5-year-old, but she's speaking like a wise
she's like
old woman.
She's like a 2 or 3 year old that when she finally talks, she starts to talk like an adult woman and the wisest person because she's a reverend mother.
Yeah,
she has all of the reverend mothers in her brain as a 3-year-old kid.
Yeah,
so she's like this creepy person who like walks around and like will tell adults how they should act and like give them wisdom and stuff. And they're like, what the fuck?
So that's how I was curious to see how they were going to go about that in the movie, but he went a totally different direction.
Which is probably smart because it would be hard to pull off having a child actor talk like that. You would be really not believing it.
It would be tough, yeah.
So just having it be pregnant and just like knowing that the daughter's talking to her.
Yeah.
You can believe it.
I thought that was a good way of going about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it would have been weird. I was curious about how
are you going to have a 5-year-old actress going out there?
You don't want her to be CGI.
Like commanding people.
Yeah, you don't want her to be CGI kid. That would be trash.
Yeah.
You're going to see it. It's going to be like, oh, take you out of the movie.
But no, in the book, I mean, his sister is pretty much by his side, like helping him command the Fremen. And so I thought that was a good way of going about it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But a crucial way of going about it.
Another part that was out of the book, that was missing, that was in the book, is if you remember, whenever Paul kills Jameis and he goes back to the thing, he
has to take his wife, and the children.
Because the Fremen way of life is whenever you kill another tribe member in battle, you take on all of his responsibilities. So Jameis was married, so then Paul has to take on Jameis's wife and then his kids.
Yeah.
But he can opt. He can say, do you want this to be your wife or do you want her to be a servant? And he opts to make her a servant because he's with Chani. But he kind of gives her freedom. He's not he doesn't make her do things.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he lets her be. Man. But she's like dying. She's like, no, please, let me be your wife. She doesn't like being a servant. But that would have complicated things probably.
In the grand scheme of things, that's pretty tough. I mean, that's a whole different character.
And a whole lot more information about the Fremen that you really don't need to know. It's really cool in the book, but you don't really need to know that in the movie.
But it is interesting. I mean, in the book, he's a father of what, like 2 kids?
I think it's 2 kids.
Yeah.
Imagine you get adopted and then your stepdad is the fucking Lisan al-Gaib ruling the universe. You're like, holy shit.
Am I written?
My dad sucked.
Am I written too, Daddy?
Yeah, he definitely didn't see that one coming. He's like, wait, what? I have fucking kids? Yeah, dude, this movie was insane.
Kind of like The Empire Strikes Back. There is a pretty decent plot twist.
Mhm.
We are well past the spoilers here, so
We already gave that warning.
Paul is Harkonnen.
Yep.
I mean, holy shit. I'll be honest, I forgot about that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't
as
come
soon as-
into it remembering it, but when it happened, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it was the same thing for me whenever his mom says, like, or whenever he has the vision and realize, because he sees, like, the whole bloodline.
Yeah.
And he sees that the Baron is his uncle, or no, his grandfather.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So Harkonnens did take the throne.
It's Harkonnen? Or is it
Harkonnen?
Harkonnen?
They say Harkonnen. I guess because I read the book and I said Harkonnen. When
Yeah,
I read the book, in my head.
I mean,
Harkonnen.
It's, Harkonnen.
Yeah, my jaw dropped at that part.
Yeah. Oh, even, Brayden looked at me. He was like,
Yeah. Dude, you can totally tell Star Wars has ripped off this bitch.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
That's what happened in Star Wars.
Yeah. They said, wait. Instead of grandfather, take out the grand. It is, it's pretty crazy because he's going to go, well, again, haven't read the books, but I would assume in theory, Paul gets Harkonnen. I mean, he gets the planet. Like, so whenever they're going into the
he killed the bloodlines.
well, first off, he's emperor. But second off, like now he has Atreides, which I guess doesn't mean much, but he does have the Fremen.
Yeah, there's no Atreides
There's
anymore.
no Atreides, but he does have the Fremen and he does have the Harkonnen. So that's pretty impressive that he got like the two strongest houses at this
He's
point.
also the emperor, so now he has a Sudarkar too.
Right. Oh, yeah. But you never really... Do you see much of them in this movie? Or am I tripping?
No, because they left. Because the Sudarkar only came to come and kill the Atreides. Once that happened, they left, and then the Fremen were just fighting the Harkonnen.
Okay.
And they were just fucking, obliterating them.
Yeah. And, but that is something that you have to understand, I think, going into the part 3 of this whole... is it a trilogy? Do we know? I assume it's a trilogy.
So this part 1 and 2 was just the first book. So there's 2 more books.
Okay.
Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, which I want to read the second one.
We have to read the second
Dude,
one.
I'm
now.
fucking bought back in.
But you have to understand, like, the Emperor put House Atreides on Arrakis. And so then he puts the Harkonnen to eliminate them. So he's pretty much putting Atreides down because he understands that they're like a powerful yet kind of ill-guided planet, or at least in his point of view. But they're still strong. They're still powerful enough.
Who are you saying, the Emperor?
Right. The Emperor. So...
Well, the Emperor was just jealous because the daughter says in the movie that he's very guided by power, and he saw that Duke Leto was becoming very attractive as the next emperor.
Mm-hmm.
So to protect himself, he loved the Duke Leto, but he loved his power more than he loves Duke Leto. So then he chopped him down.
Yes, but of the great houses, who do they choose? Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Which means that they are, like... they're definitely the most savage house. And so now I assume Paul is going to be able to take control of that house easily because by bloodline. So now that he has the Fremen and the Harkonnen, he's going to be able to somehow join them together. Great houses are fucked.
Dude, I wish... Oh, it sucks. Because
We gotta wait a while.
Because now I know what happened, and now we're caught up. I'm like, fuck, now I gotta know what happens next.
It's a good thing the books are out.
Right?
So...
So the one part I was going to say, I think the beginning was a little bit rushed because a lot of shit happens in this movie. A lot of stuff hits. And so, because the first movie really not that much happens. Again, it's like a third of the book.
It's the setup. Yeah.
It's a full setup.
It is literally setting up just the world.
Yeah.
And just how everything is ran, like Scott said.
Yeah. And so the beginning, again, it kind of skips through time and it kind of feels fast. And it feels really fast right up until whenever he meets Gurney again. He gets back with Gurney. Right after that point is when I feel like it stops being rushed. Because the Gurney part, it kind of just stumbled upon him. And I feel like that could have been maybe done better and built up better.
That was done in the book, though. He did stumble upon him.
I know, but
this, I
it
think,
was just like one scene. They fought and found him back to normal.
yeah, but they were, yes, okay, I agree with that. But in the book, he does stumble upon him. He thinks that he's fighting Harkonnen, and then he realizes, like,
They're smugglers.
Shit. He's like, oh shit, like this guy's way better than Harkonnen.
Yeah.
And then he, realizes it. So he does stumble upon him. He
notices his footsteps.
Yeah. So that's how they tied it well in the movie. He kind of just sees, like, how this weird little smuggler has been getting away with what he's been doing. And I agree with you. There probably could have been a little bit better build up in that. That's why I took 0.7 out, gave it a 9.3. But no, I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
He ties it back into the first movie. He says, "I recognize your steps, old man," or whatever he says, and I thought it was good. I didn't think that part was too rushed.
But just a lot of stuff was just hit.
Right, but you have to, and it's still a long ass movie.
Yeah,
but I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Not reading the books, I didn't feel like any of it was rushed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I was just expecting things to happen. Yeah.
I think you. I don't know. There's just a way of looking at it, kind of like. I mean, the only thing I can really relate this to is Harry Potter.
Because you read the books?
Because, when you read the books, there's like a lot of details in the books that you have to leave out. But if you just go into it kind of like Scott is, just watching the movie.
That's fair.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
How everything comes about.
Yeah. Again, they do a great job dropping in the details of like building it all up without you really knowing the storyline. Because like I was trying to watch it to see like. Because Mercedes, I'm sitting next to her and she hasn't read the book, and so I'm trying to like watch it with kind of through her eyes almost of like, what does this make sense? Do you need this set up? Should I like help her out, or are they gonna explain it later? Like, do I need to like fill her in? But I'm like, no, let's just have her watch the movie, and then they're probably gonna explain it. Because I remember me and you, when the first time we watched it last episode. Mm-hmm. We would literally explain something to Scott, and then they would say it next in the movie. Like, as we're explaining it to Scott, they would be saying it in the movie. Like, oh, shit. The movie did a good job. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I held back from, like, trying to explain anything. But, I feel like they did a good job of filling you in and pushing the storyline cohesively.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of information. It's a whole new world.
No, I mean, that's, what I said at the beginning of this episode. I think it's incredible how they get you from Paul Atreides to the Chosen One. And he changes the whole, how everything's about to go. And they change it in a whole movie. It's a long movie, sure, but to change an entire world like that in that just one movie, I think is very impressive with how it was done.
Yeah. I wonder if the ending is explained more in the second book, and Denis Villeneuve read the second book. So maybe he filled in a little bit more. Because, again, the first book literally ends after the conversation. There's no ending. The book ends whenever he gets his wife, the Emperor's daughter, and then they have a conversation, and then Lady Jessica tells Chani that, they're going to remember us as wives. Last page. That's like the final words. Mm-hmm. And you're reading the book like, damn, what? This is the end? But in this movie, he's like, all right, send him up. And then does he drop the atomics on the spice?
No.
No, he didn't do it.
Okay.
All right? Yeah, he didn't do it.
He sent some bombs.
Those bombs were to more, I think.
Oh, he was just bombing the city that all the Harkonnen were on.
Dude, and see that, I love that. I loved that Paul, because he sees exactly what he has to do, he knows exactly how to just win this minuscule battle.
I think it's funny too, like when Gurney and all them try to give him advice. It's like, this motherfucker sees the future. Let him do what he's doing.
And so, like, you see that the Emperor lands, and I guess in a way, like, you just don't really understand how powerful Paul is until he just obliterates that entire battle.
Yeah.
He takes down the Empire. He takes down the Harkonnen, just all in one final block. And they even like map out exactly like how they're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. They send those missiles, they send the worms, and it's so obvious that the Fremen just have it.
Desert power.
Bro.
Desert power.
When they sent the worms to that city, all I was thinking was desert power.
Yes, bro. The Mercedes leaned over to me and goes, desert power. Desert storm coming your way, and then all of a sudden you see a giant worm coming at you. Dude.
Yeah, after the missiles dropped, then worms, then a sandstorm. It's like, holy shit. I mean,
Dude,
what? There's
true desert power. True desert power.
I think but you know what? That's foreshadowing. That's what the Duke was talking about.
Yeah, they have desert power. We need that.
Yeah.
We need to tap into desert power.
Yeah.
You know that Paul is so powerful too, and that everybody fears him. Even the Emperor fears him. Like when he walks in and kills the Baron, I like how he says the line of, because he says that in the book, he says, "You die like an animal," and he finally dies. But he walks in, kills the Baron, looks at the Emperor, and walks out and says, "Take him as prisoners, do the thing," because everybody's scared. They're like, "Holy fuck!" Like we just got attacked, and here's this like prophecy guy that's been leading this entire troop on this planet
That we've been hearing about.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Or at least we know he's been built up for a long time.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to fight him because they know the Fremen are right behind him.
Yeah.
They know the power he has. They're like just kind of holding guard. He walks right up to their swords and looks at the Emperor and walks away.
Yeah.
Or like, gives his troops. He yells. He's staring at the Emperor while he tells his troops who to go kill.
Yeah. Shout out to his mom, though. She was right. Because he kept getting frustrated before he drank the water of life. He kept getting mad that she was spreading like his tale, his story, his prophecy and all this. He was like, "You're leading them astray. Like, you're just exaggerating everything and all this." But she was right. It struck the fear of the Emperor. He gets that scroll, reads that it's Paul Atreides, drops it. Because he's like, holy shit, okay. I mean, I'm done. I mean, he lived. He wasn't supposed to live. He lived. You know who? Oh, God. I hate the Reverend Mother. Like, not Paul's mom, but the one that taught her.
The one that's with the Emperor.
The one that just she's like, oh, yeah, everything's going according to plan. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You don't know what the fuck's going on in Arrakis.
You're so lost until she's not. I better see her. She better pull something crazy off and like the next one.
Well, she was trying to build
like she has finally gotten control. Because right now it just seems like everything's out of her control.
Well, it is because now Paul has ultimate power. She said that. The Kwisatz Haderach was the prophecy that Paul fulfills within the Bene Gesserit. Paul becomes that. He has the ultimate power. He has the Bene Gesserit power. He has the power of a Reverend Mother.
She even tells her to shut up with the voice.
Dude, that was badass.
She says, "Abomination." Pissed.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the ultimate Reverend Mother because she's the one that, mentors or was with the Emperor, and he fucking voices her ass. And she's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah. But I mean, she tells Paul's mother, she says, "You of all people should know that there are no sides," or what did she say?
There's no sides. I think she just said that. There's no sides.
She says, "You of all people should know that there are no sides," as if she's still like everything's just going according to her plan.
Yeah. Well, because they don't really pick sides. They'll like be with you and work. They'll be helping you out to then have you get killed later down the line.
Yeah.
So she's the only side is the Bene Gesserit side, which whatever they're trying to do. I don't even know what their point is. They're just trying to rule the world, I guess, or just guide the world or whatever.
I think they're always just trying to be there.
Yeah.
Try and like stay relevant.
It's like the government, the secret government.
Yeah, they're just
trying to keep it.
All they're trying to do is like, no, we're important.
Trust us.
We can help.
Yeah. But nope. Paul Muad'Dib Atreides is coming in hot.
Yep. The Tyrannosaurus mouse.
Is that what they called it?
No, that's what I called it last
episode. That's right. That sounded familiar. I was like, Tyrannosaurus mouse. I could have
say
sworn they
that in
didn't say that in the movie, but that sounds familiar.
Hey, he did say Dune in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Dune.
Yeah, that was what the planet used to be named.
Yeah, that was an old Fremen word for it.
Boom. How you doing?
Yeah. My favorite scene, though, for sure, is whenever he gains power. Because I remember reading that in the book and being like, holy fuck, that was the most badass thing I've ever read in my life. Hearing him say, my name is Paul. He like when he screams, my name's Paul Atreides, Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, the Duke of Dune, or the Duke of Arrakis, screaming to everybody, professing his power over everybody. And they're all cheering him because, again, he starts off the speech with fear, scaring them all. Like, listen, I am the most powerful. I am the prophecy. And then he says, but I'm leading you all to paradise. And then they're all for him. They get scared and they realize, he's on our side.
God, I don't even know what my favorite scene is from this movie.
It does suck that it would have, it's good for the movie, but just as like a guy that wants to see some badass scenes, you want to see Paul just fucking beat the fuck out of Fade Rautha. Like quick and easy, just fucking.
I liked how long it went on.
I do too, but
I don't want it just to be over.
I don't want him to get stabbed and fucking almost lose. He's like laying on the ground, beat up in front of all of his people. Which maybe that was the only way for him to win. He had to get stabbed to have him come and then to have him jab him in the heart.
Yeah, that's the problem with giving somebody, because the Baron tells him that. He was like, you were pretty much a celebrity before I finally put you in an arena with somebody from Atreides that wasn't drugged up and you actually beat him. And so that's kind of his downfall, is that he's a sociopath that was given everything to him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really have to earn much. I mean, sure, he was a good fighter, and he proved that, like, I'm sure in different ways, but Paul actually had to fight somebody to the death.
And in the book, too, another thing that they left out was that in the book when they fought, Fade Rautha had a knife with poison on it.
Oh, yeah.
He had a tampered with knife. So whenever he like sliced, I think he might have cut him and like it slowed Paul down. Maybe. I could just be making that up. But I do know that they had a poisonous knife and Paul had a regular knife. But with Paul seeing, I guess, he can't 100% see the future. He can see the path, but he can't 100% see it because he missed the part whenever they attacked the... No, that was before the water. Right, that was before the water.
Yeah.
Okay,
and he says that. He was like,
I didn't see that coming.
Shit.
That's why he needs to take the water. He's like, I didn't see that coming. Fuck, I do need to see. That's when he prays to Jameis, and Jameis tells him you need to get to the highest point. You need to be able to see to guide the people.
Yeah, you got to drink that Jamba Juice.
The highest Dune, he says.
Yes. Said it twice. What does that say, Scott?
Beautiful.
Yeah, he had a poisoned knife and needle in the book.
Did he stab him? Does it say if he stabbed him?
He attempted treachery in the form of a poisoned knife and needle.
Oh, that's right. It was on like his hip or some shit. He tried to like bump him and poison him.
I don't really remember. It's a big book.
It's not too big though.
It's a big book from like a year ago to remember all the details.
100% that.
Yeah,
reading a book over time is always hard to remember.
I love the scene of him riding the worm for the first time.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Our speakers in the theater were blown out. That's when I noticed.
Were they really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice. Was it bad?
It couldn't handle. Yeah, there was like the crackling.
I did hear that.
Damn, I guess I didn't.
I thought it was part of the movie.
Mm-mm.
I guess I thought it was part of the movie too, because I didn't even notice.
Every super loud scene, I was like, come on.
Yeah, what a kind of a shitty theater to play Dune 2 the premiere night.
I know.
This is like, we watched it on Thursday. This is Thursday when we're filming this. This is the premiere at 9. That's like prime time premiere. Why are we not in the biggest fucking theater in the whole?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get the Dune popcorn buckets.
The pocket pussy.
They were never gonna sell that after the Twitter stuff.
No, they did.
I know, but
they're not doing it anymore.
It's only at AMC theaters.
They're not doing it anymore.
Good one. No, it's at AMC theaters.
oh,
I would have bought it and put it right here probably.
Oh, I had it right here the entire time.
I was really, because I was 1,000% going to buy that $20, however much it is, popcorn bucket just to have it on set.
Yeah.
Y'all have like so many of them. Buy like 5.
No, that would have been better if we just had like a bunch of them. Like if we just cleared out everything.
Take out the bugs.
And we just have all of the, yeah. What could have been?
All the worms. All the Shaola.
Part 3. We'll have them.
Yes. Yeah, it was good. I'll tell you what, though. The going back to us sitting in the movie theater when we walked in, I was also worried about if we were at the right theater. And I think because there were so many previews that played, and I'm looking at Gray, I'm like, are we about to watch Dune 2? Like, what are these movie previews? But
well, I think this is because that's happened to us before.
That is true. We did go Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a good time, yeah.
When we watched the Spider-Verse, we walked into the theater and
there's some rated R movie that they were showing.
Yeah, like there's like throwing like red band trailers. And we're like, wait, isn't this like a kids movie kind of? Like Spider-Man? And there's only old people coming in the theaters. And we're kind of like confused. And Gray's like, I think we're in the wrong theater. I'm like, no, bro, I saw the sign.
Well, because all the movie trailers were dropping the F-bomb. And like it was sex scenes. There were scary movies that were actually scary.
Yeah.
I was just looking, I was like, huh. I mean, I guess maybe we live in a world now where it's just acceptable.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Kids have social media today.
Yeah, because Dune Part 2 is PG-13.
Is it? I guess there's no F-bombs, yeah.
Yeah, take your kids to see it.
But so...
Take your little babies to see it.
There were so many weird trailers that didn't fit, I thought, what this movie was about. But I guess if it's PG-13, that's fair. But I don't think they're... Like, dude, the movies that are being released right now are fucking trash. Like, there's just, like, no good original movies.
Remakes.
There was one original movie. That was Guy Ritchie. Shout out Guy Ritchie for carrying it.
Thanks, Guy.
There was... I guess If was the original movie. That was like some dumb kids movie that was looked fucking terrible.
No, I won't say dumb kids movie. I'm sure it's going to be a hit with the kids.
Maybe.
I feel like it'll be a good movie.
No, dude. The jokes in that trailer were fucking corny as shit.
I don't know. The production value was so high on that. I think
If
it'll be a hit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a hit.
So there was that one. There was King Kong Godzilla Part 2. They're best friends.
The Planet of the Apes looked good.
That did look good. Again, that's another franchise movie.
Do y'all like The Planet of the Apes?
I've never seen it.
I've seen like the first like two maybe.
I tried to watch the first one with James Franco. I remember I got through it and I was thinking, okay, decent. And then I remember trying to watch the second one and thinking, oh no, this is bad. Or, in better words, just not for me.
And then...
But obviously it can't be doing that bad because they keep going.
And then Twister remake. And then Kung Fu Panda 4. So there's like no... Like literally all the trailers they showed were...
The only
nothing.
reason I can understand it is because we've just advanced so much that in a way we're kind of doing it justice. Like...
What?
I've never seen the original Twisters movie.
Oh. It kind of look good.
It looked
it's
good.
It's going to be trash, but it might be like entertaining.
No, but like the special effects are going to be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be done well. But I just remember, what is, oh my God, what's his name?
Jason Statham.
No. John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Okay. What was that one movie he did?
Speed.
No. It's about where he like joins the
Point Break.
The surfers. Point Break. Well, you know they tried to redo that movie, right?
That one was trash.
It was terrible. It was awful. The original was so much better, and so that's where I'm worried that.
But this was not a remake. It's like a different story.
Right, but
that's kind of what they're doing with these remakes, I guess, because Roadhouse is a remake, but it's different.
Right.
New story. Twister. There's two twins.
Yeah.
They're twins.
Yeah. But I'm just worried because I mean, Point Break, the original was perfect.
Awesome.
Although Keanu Reeves,
It's acting not great.
he's not the best actor, but the story was amazing. And then I remember...
It's incredible he's a successful actor.
You're telling me, I would say more astonishing.
Why do you think that is? Just because he was a fan favorite? You think because people love him, so they go to see him?
Right.
He just brings in the bacon?
But then, like, you see that remake of Point Break, and it's just horrendous. Now, sure, they had, like, cool action shots, I guess, but that's it.
Yeah.
The story was shit.
Yeah.
The acting was shit. It was worse than Keanu Reeves. All of them on screen.
Yeah.
Not to hate. Sorry.
Hollywood.
I couldn't even finish it.
All these Hollywood production companies are not taking any risks, making any good, decent movie.
Yeah,
or not. Sorry, any good,
I think they
standalone movie, original movie
for like streaming wise. I think Netflix originals, like they have some good ones.
That's
HBO, like those do well. But as far as like going to see a movie in theater, we're pretty much just relying on Dune at this point.
Yep. And
Quentin Tarantino and Guy Ritchie and Marty.
Marty brings in the originals.
I don't know if he's got another one left in him.
That's pretty much who else makes some originals. That's like the main big three now. Probably.
Dune's not original.
No,
It
it's
comes
not.
from a book.
Yeah, but it still is. Yeah.
But I think what I'm really trying to say is like I guess they did remake the first one in a way, but
this one's clearly not a money grab. This is a very carefully crafted movie that's
plus
really really good.
The original was shit.
Yeah.
It didn't even do well whenever it first came out, did it?
Red Flag, probably. They made like 3 of them. They did all 3, I think.
Really?
Look up, see if they Dune.
I could go watch
an original sequel or something.
I could go watch the third Dune.
We can find out what happens in movie form. Because there's a red flag that they did the entire book in one movie. Remember, we skipped to the end expecting it to be like the new Dune, and we're like, wait, this is the war. Go back.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying...
Were there multiple Dune movies?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 1984, I think, when it came out. So, because I remember seeing it said like Dune 2 or something, or like the Messiah, Dune Messiah. So I had to have done decent.
Sequel plans were canceled.
There we go.
Didn't do well.
There we go.
Failed at the box office.
Yeah.
They saw
fucking
those
Roblox.
They saw those Roblox and they said, "Holy shit, that's bad even for us."
This is the best you could do?
Yeah.
Odd take. Very odd. You think that's the best they could have literally done technology-wise? Is just make Roblox? No way. That couldn't have been a creative decision. That's a horrible creative decision.
84. I think that was the best they could do.
Star Wars did better. Star Wars was better crafted, I guess.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the making of Star Wars, how they filmed all the stuff?
Right. So they didn't do that for the first Dune.
No.
They were relying on the special effects that they had.
Yeah,
they didn't have any creativity into making a planet blow up.
Dude, the
Death Star.
The original Star Wars creativity of how to film that on film, they just filmed every little thing individually, every asteroid, every planet, every ship, and then stacked them on top of each other and film.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to think.
That's so hard for me to understand. I don't understand how that works. They just stack it on top of each other, and then it's not thick as fuck.
I don't know.
I wish I knew.
I mean,
We got to find this out. If we're gonna make movies, we need to figure out how they used to do it.
You got to think about. I mean, if Denis, if he was doing this movie back then, he would have made it as good as Star Wars is today.
Yeah. Because it's good because a lot of the scenes where they would use CGI, they hide it very well and believably. Whenever all the entire army comes over the dune, that was probably and whenever you see Paul leading from the front, he's like walking down the dune, and then you see the entire army after him start to rise over it. It's kind of hidden by these heat waves and the dust. So that was obviously probably CGI the entire scene, but they make it look real and feel real by just kind of hiding it with the heat waves of the desert and the dust. So it's a cool, stylistic shot, and they hide the CGI. So he's very carefully crafting it even today. And again, they didn't want to use a CGI baby girl or a kid actor and voice her over.
Mm-hmm.
The shots of the baby in the womb are really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It keeps it, but it still keeps that like weird sci-fi. Like in the beginning with the embryo, it's weird. Like you don't see that in a movie, and it's like, is it? It's not talking. Oh, he's talking to her.
Yeah.
Paul's talking to the embryo.
Yeah.
And Chani tells him, he's like, "You finally woke up." He's like, "I wasn't sleeping." I was dreaming. Dreaming.
Sounds like Matthew McConaughey's character in True Detective. I don't sleep. I just dream.
Yeah. What's that line he says in the car? And Woody Harrelson's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, is it not what I just said?
Is that it?
He says, I don't sleep. I just dream.
And they're getting out of the car. And Woody Harrelson's like, what the hell are you talking about?
And when he gets out of the car, I mean, I know at one point he talks about how he doesn't believe in Christianity, but he meditates as if he was Adam and Eve going through or he meditates. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Woody Harrelson says, stop saying odd shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Matthew at that point had just been like, I don't sleep. I just dream.
That was a great show.
Have
you been watching the Avatar live action yet?
I tried. Can't do it.
Why?
Just can't do it.
It's pretty good.
To you. Not to me.
How far did you get into it?
Episode 5.
Oh, so you watched it.
I tried.
You have 3 more episodes. You don't just want to finish it out?
It's just not.
I've seen 2 so far, and I thought it was pretty. I think it's not perfect. Definitely not as good as it could be, but I think it's not a bad live action. Plus, they take scenes out, take episodes out because they have to, because it's 8 episodes.
It's tough.
The bending's cool though. In the beginning,
I thought it looked all right.
Definitely way better than with the movie.
I never even saw the movie,
dude. This is why I like the one right now, because the movie is fucking. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch almost.
I finally came to the realization of what the problem was. As I was watching it, first off, I don't really like the acting in it.
Yeah, Zuko sucks.
Yeah, Katara sucks. I don't like Aang. I think he's annoying. Yeah, I think he's so annoying. But it's just...
You're just a hater, bro.
Maybe I am. But the whole time, I was like, damn, what is wrong? What do I want out of this? And then I realized, I just want to go back and watch the original because it's so good.
So good.
So that's what I did.
Did you? You started it?
I mean, I started it. I went and watched some key episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is the last Airbender.
It's cool though, because it's different. It's a little different, but still the heart of it. They tell the story in a different way. It's out of order almost. They show Aang's origin story in the first episode.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I appreciated that, but...
And then, there's just been some moments that I've liked. Whenever he's training and he's realized he doesn't have to learn how to bend. He has to learn how to control his bending. When he almost kills his entire fucking training school, knocks him off the cliff.
Yeah.
And then whenever he turns into the Avatar and, comes in, fucking destroys everybody.
That was
She
cool.
comes in.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
It's just tough to... Yeah.
So we had to go into it just kind of I know it's not going to be that great, but...
Which I can't do.
Really?
Because...
You have 3 more episodes.
It is so good. The original is so good.
It really is so good.
So, but
All
Dune Part 2, what are you thinking? Closing thoughts.
I think it is incredible. I think it is a must-watch. I think it's probably going to be the best movie. It's been the best movie I've seen in a long time. I haven't felt this excited about a movie that I've seen in a long time, where I'm just so hype. Definitely going to be the movie of the year. If it doesn't win awards, that's fucking trash. Denis Villeneuve, one of the GOATs. Truly one of the GOATs. Undeniably one of the GOATs. Cinematography is amazing. Music's amazing. The way the story is told is amazing. Acting was amazing. We didn't even talk about Timothée Chalamet that much, but he's surprisingly plays a really, really good badass. Really good, powerful dude.
I already knew he could play that badass.
Because
of the king.
Acting was great. Obviously, all the characters are awesome. Fantastic.
I will agree with that. So the only thing that I will say in my closing thoughts is that Dune is the future.
Truly the future.
We have found our time's new franchise.
Scott, final words.
Great movie.
And with that, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. And we are out.
Trying to buy my next meal. Seems all I do is drive. And when the boss man sends my next check